Here's one for all you old school music lovers out there. Finish this line. If the kids are united, then they'll never be. Yes, of course, that is in reference. Get your comments in the live section right now, please, everyone. That is in reference to Manchester United's academy lads tearing it up in first team training. They are out on the pitch very shortly, actually. Diego, Leon, Chido, Obi, both in the lineup tonight, so you can catch up with that later on, everybody. Seeing how some more of Manchester United's academy players are doing. But the top story tonight is of Ruben Amorim's. These kids are no joke. They are indeed really tearing it up in training and aren't there just to make up the numbers. We'll bring you all the information on that as well. Manchester United's Player of the Month for October. In fact, here's another question for you straight away. Does Ruben Amorim win Player Manager of the Month? 100% record. I mean, there's some other candidates in there, of course, but under the circumstances, should Ruben get Manager of the Month? Manchester United's Player of the Month for October. That is your poll that's also running right now, everybody. Get in there and give me your votes on who you think should be Man United's Player of the Month. Your four options, according to Manchester United, are Senna Lamens, Matthias Cunha, Matthias de Ligt and Brian Mbeumo. Need I say, like I've been talking about all the time around Manchester United's recruitment, all four signings from Ineos. I'll leave that with you there. Get voting on the poll, though, everybody, as well. All of your transfer speculation tonight. A message from our old friend, Mr. Andre Anana, as well as all of your live comments in the live chat. We've got plenty to get through tonight, so let's get right into it, everybody. Welcome along to the show. We are live, so please do be respectful in the live chat as well. Well, you're at it, though. You might as well give the video a like because you're already loving the content, because I give you something to actually get involved in straight away there, didn't I? Yeah, hit the subscribe button as well. And let's get into it. It's Manchester United's academy players. Where are we at? What is happening? Why are we hearing noises about certain players on the brink of breaking into the first team? Yes, you know I've been all over this. Yes, you know I love the academy. But whenever there's a fresh report coming out from Carrington, I'm going to bring it to you and we're going to talk about it, because it is massively important for Manchester United that we do indeed make sure that we have our, let's just say, head screwed on a little bit. Like, being realistic, looking at this properly. Are these players good enough to make it into Manchester United's side? Let's not overly analyse. Let's not over-egg them. Let's not overhype them. Let's just keep their feet firmly on the ground. All of that, yes, of course. But this is the report from one so-called Manchester United insider, a report from the football club. Ruben Amorim has been highly impressed by the sharpness and confidence shown by Manchester United's academy players stepping up to senior training. He believes that their presence brings hunger and energy to the first team sessions. He's been integrating them into tactical and technical drills, promoting competition and communication between both groups. Off the back of that as well, there has been a separate report from the man that we're all talking about at the moment within Manchester United, which is obviously Shea Lacey as well. Obviously, there's been many other players in there. Chido's come back in there. Devaney's been in there. Jack Fletcher's been in there also, alongside Shea Lacey, who we know is the top dog at the moment. Well, I don't want to mean he's the best in there, but in terms of a chance of getting through, we know that he is right up there. And this is another comment that's come from Manchester United. These are all courtesy of Sam, by the way, who has been doing the reporting on this. And a Manchester United insider on Shea Lacey's training with the first team, quote, says he's been on fire, fearless, inventive, and constantly trying to create chances. He's a really good shout. He's a really good shout out. I mean, you've got their absolute quality throughout that academy, but it's very difficult to bring that into the first team when, we've said before, like always, it's difficult when the team's not doing well, the environment's not the best, and everything around Manchester United is obviously a little bit downbeat, and it has been for a while, and you can't ignore that. It's there and everyone can see it. But recently, United's upturning form only bodes well for Manchester United's young lads coming through, because if Ruben sees an opportunity to integrate somebody in, well, everything is working, and you do need a fully functioning first team to understand what they're doing, first of all. You thinking that you're going to bring an academy player through and expect him to know exactly what's going on straight away if the first team players around him aren't figuring it out? It's just not going to happen. So Ruben has done well and bided his time, but the messages that keep on coming out, and Sully has said the same thing with this, with a lot of academy players as well. When he's spoken to me, he said the same thing. it is a very, very upbeat atmosphere around Carrington at the moment. There are certain things that aren't going well for certain players, but that's all off the back of playing time and actually competition for places. These are the sorts of football problems that we need to be having at Manchester United. You've got academy players knocking on the door, Shea Lacey, Jack Fletcher, all of these types of players coming through. Everyone impressing in under 21s like Biancheri with a hat-trick the other night as well. Diego Leon scoring his first goal for Manchester United as well. Again, playing tonight. Chido knocking on the door also. The under-18s like JJ Gabriel, Jimmy Thwaites, players like this that are ready to make the next step up for Manchester United. And then you've got the first team squad, the new players that are integrated in and seamlessly slotting into Manchester United. Hence, the player of the month, obviously there. 3 of the summer signings are up for October player of the month for Manchester United. The month in when United have won all 3 matches so far in the Premier League. The first time in God knows how long that has happened. And you can see the impact of them signings in there just on that. Everything is working well at Carrington. Everything is upbeat. You can talk about the Kobbie Mainoo and the Joshua Zirkzee has been a bit of a negative, but still, you've also got to look at that and say, well, like we've always said all the way through, if United are winning, then these players can't complain. And United are now winning, so this is easier to deal with. And it's easier for Ruben Amorim to say to these players, well, you've just got to keep working hard. He told Casemiro to work hard, and he's got into the side now, and now he's a dead cert for starting the most important games for Manchester United, as we've seen over the last few weeks anyway. And I think that this now is the perfect environment for Manchester United to maybe bring in academy players, giving them the chance with the first team, and obviously then we can start testing out certain games. Obviously it's a shame that we've not got European football or the Carabao Cup to maybe give a little bit of game time to some of these academy players, but look, that's just the way it is this season right now. And if they are going to break into this team, at least you can probably say that these academy players are actually really making an impression, because if Ruben's thinking about these players for a Premier League game, then they must be doing something right in training. And then reports that we're hearing about Shea Lacey and other players, that the main story coming out is that these players are not just there to make up the numbers. It is intense, they are holding their own, and they are really impressing first-team players as well that are training alongside them. It just feels good. It feels good to be a Manchester United fan listening to that sort of thing off the back of results. And I'll go back to what I've always said as well. I'm not being stupid here and I'm not being naive. I already know that it is just because Manchester United are winning. And you'll be clutching at straws and people will be saying the social media is putting out all of this youth team news and all of this good feel good factor around Carrington, just to try and deflect away from what's really important, which is results on the pitch. Results bring everything together for Manchester United. They give people a chance. They give people a chance to play, obviously, like the academy lads coming through. It seems like an easier atmosphere for them to come through. The financial side of things is better. The cohesion within the squad, the atmosphere and environment around Carrington, because everybody's winning. Press conferences, access for the media, everything becomes so much more easier, and it's more open for everybody to get that feel-good factor and get a vibe of Manchester United. And this is how the reporting's coming across. I do have to put out a bit of a negative, though. It's not a bit of a negative, it's a massive negative, because I have actually met Reece Bennett, academy centre-back. Heartbreaking news for him and his father and what's happened there for him. Absolute tragedy for his family there, for his dad taking his own life. And Manchester United have definitely done the right thing this weekend in wearing black armbands at the game against Nottingham Forest as a mark of respect for him. Reece, I hope you and your family and everybody, I know he has watched the show before, he's told me this, I've met him at Carrington. He is an absolutely outstanding lad as well. Former captain of Manchester United's academy, back with the academy now, having been out on loan for the last couple of seasons. Devastating news for him. So shout out to the Bennett family, and again, all our wishes to everyone involved in that sad news there. But yeah, just while we're talking about the academy, I cannot forget to mention that. But yeah, that is that, and yeah, it just brings it all back down to earth a little bit, doesn't it? But look, let's get some comments in on everything that's happening from what I've just opened up with there around the academy and the feel-good factor and everything around Manchester United. Give me your thoughts, everyone. How are we feeling about everything that's happening right now. There's lots of people that actually do watch the academy. And in fact, I'm going to start doing a few watch-alongs as well into the future where we can with the academy. I'm going to do them on here because I think it needs to be talked about, and I think we do need to shine the spotlight on some of the academy players as well. So I think I'm just going to do them anyway. I know a lot of people don't watch the academy, and that's fine. But if we can do our bit to highlight them and the work that's going on there at Manchester United and the stars that could possibly be coming through, talk about them a bit more, we're going to do it. We are going to do it. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's get into the comments section now, everybody. Shay Lacey, anyone else you like the look of, anyone who is a big admirer of the academy, good to see all the well wishes and comments there regarding Reece Bennett's dad as well. Thank you everybody in the chat there for doing that. It's, like I said, it's just a small community here compared to the Manchester United family in general, but obviously every little bit of well wishing goes a long way. Ruben needs to get Chido into the squad. Our best chance only has Cobby, and we came close to losing our record. I'm not really bothered about that record, to be honest. Evolution will take over that Manchester United Academy record. I don't think we're going to lose it because of all these academy lads coming through, but Manchester United deserve what they get with this, and they've run this football club into the ground, the people that were there before. In fact, it's the wrong thing to say that, because the people there now are really making a serious effort to turn this football club around. So I don't want to say that they are not. I don't want to say that they are the reason why Manchester United's academy record, the one you obviously know that Manchester United have had an academy graduate within the matchday squad for so many years in a row now. That record, it is big, but it just seems like we're just throwing names in there for a few times now, just to keep the record going. I would rather have players coming through and making a massive impact from Manchester United's academy. Now, rather than a record of just having a name on a team sheet, I want to see academy players in the team playing football. I don't just want to do it just to keep a record going. I want this to be important, and I want it to mean something. That's how I feel as a fan right now on that. Adam, how many do you think will come through to the first team, mate? There are about 3 from what I've seen, says Roddy. In terms of how many come through, there's so many good players there, but we know they're not all going to make it because Man United have a very, very, well, let's just say, jam-packed first-team squad. So I reckon you might get 1 or 2. I really do. There might be some squad players in there that might be all right with that, but this group of players are the best at their level right now on all levels that Manchester United are competing in. So you know there is raw talent there. You know there is some definite quality within that Manchester United side. So I look, it could be 3 or 4. It might be 1 or 2. I definitely think there are certain players that are earmarked and destined for Manchester United's first team eventually. And look at it, they're young enough at the moment. But if I was to name 3 players, for instance, who I think will make it in Manchester United's first team, I will go with Shay Lacey. I remember talking about him 2 years ago when he was really hitting the ground and he got the bad injury that he had, which completely derailed his progress through. Obviously, JJ Gabriel is another player that I think will make it. This kid is racking up numbers that are just ridiculous at the moment. I love Jimmy Thwaites as well, and I think Jimmy Thwaites, his composure on the ball he's a sort of hybrid of a couple of different players. I'm not even going to name the players because it's insulting at the moment because he's never played football, and I don't like comparing players to past heroes and past legends because it's not fair on them either. But I do think that Jimmy Thwaites in that position he's going to change that position. I think he really is ahead of his time. I think his technical ability is second to none. And if there was one player I would tell everybody to go and watch in Man United's academy, and you could pick any of them, honestly. Jack Fletcher's a great player. Devaney in midfield is an unsung hero for Manchester United as well. Obviously, you've got the under-21s like Chido, Scanlon, Bayern Kerry. There's so many. Look, I carry like Mantato and Kamasin as well. Kakonge, there's an endless list. They won't all make it, no, but I'd tell everyone to go and watch Jimmy Thwaites. I just love the way that he plays. He's just a free spirit and is fearless. Absolutely fearless. But the under-18s team, Jesus wept, honestly. It is absolutely stacked with talent. And I'm just looking forward to that day when we start to see some of them come through. And you know what? It might not be long away. It might not be far away. It really might not be. So let's just see. Yeah, JJ is a good player. He's a very, very good player, to be honest. I am so optimistic for the future. So many good players coming through. The team will get stronger. That alongside Manchester United's recruitment. Again, highlighting the poll that we've got going right now again. I know I keep banging that drum and I'm going to keep on doing it, but United's recruitment under Ineos has been 20 times better. Manchester United's first 3 wins in a row in God knows how long, putting us up there for, Manager of the Month for Ruben Amorim, 100% record in October. And Manchester United's Player of the Month between Senna Lamens, Matthias Cunha, Matthias de Ligt and Brian Mbeumo. They're the players that we're looking at there, all brought in for Manchester United. When you put all of them players' valuations together and you add them all up, that is money very well spent for Manchester United. That is proper football club investments, I think, transfer investment right there. And it is really good to see. I'm excited to see what comes of this as well. Just moving on as well, this one will make you laugh. We have a message from our old friend Andre Onana. He has been talking, and a few people have said that Andre Onana is having a bit of a jab at his old teammates, and in saying that what's helped him is obviously his teammates, and them helping him out where he is now has made him the person that he knows he is. And honestly, this guy I'm just so glad that he's not with United anymore. But he's left us with a little bit of a poem as such. I mean, this is the message from Andre Onana. Take from this what you think. So this is what Onana has said: life is like air, sometimes sunny, sometimes rainy. If it's raining, adapt to it. If the sun comes out, enjoy it. But when the sun comes out, don't think you're the best. When the rain comes out, don't think you're the worst. Andre Onana. Now, I've only got one way to answer that, and that's... Thank God Manchester United have got a normal goalkeeper. Honestly, they're night and day, aren't they? They really are. Let's stay there talking in riddles, Andre. I'm glad you're doing well. It just helps us move you on in the summer, mate. Thank God Senna Lamens is at Manchester United right now. That's all I'll say. And just to back this up as well, I'm talking about Senna Lamens. Statman Dave has been out, and a few other data analysis people have been out. Of course, it is the craze these days, isn't it, with football? But Senna Lamens versus Premier League goalkeepers per 90 minutes. So let's just say the last 3 games Senna Lamens has been at Manchester United, his whole entire Manchester United career. Long passes, first, Senna Lamens. Progressive passes, first, Senna Lamens. A defensive duels, 1. Yep, you guessed it, first, Senna Lamens. Prevented goals, second, Senna Lamens. Passes to the final, third, second, Senna Lamens. Saves, third, Senna Lamens. And save percentage, 4th. Not bad at all. When you look at what Andre Onana's stats were back when Manchester United had him in goal, night and day. Like I said, the character, honestly, like Andre Onana is exactly that, a character in every means. But Senna Lamens I'll tell you what, he just has a presence that I just think is going to take Manchester United 20 times further than what Andre Onana could ever dream of. And again, the recruitment for Manchester United. And I have to hold my hands up here with this. I'm looking at these stats here and I'm thinking, before Senna Lamens stepped in, let's not forget, Manchester United were off the back of losing to Brentford badly. And I mean badly, and we all were there at that game. I was losing the plot. I'd kind of given up on Ruben Amorim. I wanted it to work for him, but he wasn't for changing, and he came out with his stance that he's never going to change. So going into the next game, I was thinking, he's going to just play bleeding Baindev again. He's not going to change. He's not going to change anything he's doing. He brought Senna Lamens in and changed it completely with that one player coming in. Well, you could say maybe two, because Benjamin Sesko went up front and we went direct from Senna Lamens. And right there, long passes first, progressive passes first, defensive duels one first, prevented goals second. Like, he's in there, right up there, in all of the best stats that you need for a goalkeeper. He's come into Manchester United and he's just transformed things around. And I was there when Senna Lamens signed for Man United on deadline day. And I can still remember the video now. My biggest concern was that Senna Lamens didn't shout out first team goalkeeper. I remember saying the words, and I doubted this signing. I really did. I am so happy to be wrong. I am really happy to have got that completely wrong. I was shouting out Emi Martinez all day. I'm not going to hide away from it. I know what I wanted. I just was never convinced that an unsung hero type goalkeeper, someone who had no experience at all in the Premier League, was going to be the answer for Manchester United. I just wasn't feeling it at all. And that's because of what I was watching. But thank God that this recruitment team actually did the job that they did in the summer in convincing everybody, from the fans to people like Bruno Fernandes, who has talked about this as well, and in fact, Ruben Amorim, the most important man of all, that Ineos have got the capabilities and the recruitment team there now, within the space of 2 years, to go out and say, we don't want to buy Emi Martinez. They're one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. We're going to get Senna Lamens, who is going to be on hardly anything compared to what Emi Martinez is on wage-wise. It's going to cost us half the price. We're going to go with the player that's never played in the Premier League before. We're going to go with him. And I bottled it. I completely bottled it. I thought we'd done it again. I thought we'd gone down the road of inexperience. We brought in a number 9 in Sesko, who I loved. But again, I was worried about the experience side of it. I remember talking about Watkins, thinking he was the right man to come in. Just some experience there. And we're all being proved. Well, some people wanted Sesko. Well, I'll admit that. There were plenty of people on our chat talking about Sesko being the right choice, the younger player, stop buying the older players. And Senna Lamens comes in, a younger goalkeeper again. A lot of people were talking about Emi Martinez being old and past it. And I remember my excuse for it at the time. It was that Vitek was going to be coming through. Why don't we just have Emi Martinez for a couple of years? I remember it like it was yesterday. And then Lamens came in that Sunderland game. And we've never looked back. And that you have to put down to recruitment, because that choice was there. United might have gone with Martinez. United might have gone with another goalkeeper. Think of the goalkeepers that United were linked to in the summer. How many videos did I do on Man United potential new goalkeepers? It was, we must have done about 12. We must have done it. And now where we are with Senna Lamens is, I'm loving the fact that they made that call now and proving me wrong. Look, always happy as long as it is for the good of Manchester United, and this more than definitely is. Thank you already for the likes, everyone. Well over 200 likes. Keep them flooding in, everyone. Feeling the good factor, feel good factor even. Yeah, get it right, Adam. By the way, what do you think of my new cup? Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Yeah, bottom of your screen. Joke. I'm sorry. You had to do it, didn't you? London, thank you for the gifted membership, mates. Love that, pal. Commitment and beyond. Thank you all the mods as well, everybody. Again, big shout out to everyone. We have got, even in these weeks of no football, such massive audiences here on Forever United TV. I'm just pleased that we are seeing the same faces come in all the time and constantly be in the chat there talking and having their own little community conversations in there. Love it. Keep it going, everybody. I actually remember doing the video. Stephanie's just made a great point there. Donnarumma and Martinez were mercenary options looking for a big payday only. I mean, that, when you look at it, you've got to say, again, Donnarumma, Emi Martinez. Yeah. I like the comments on the mug, by the way. Go for it. Yes, Deb, I know. And that's an Anana mug. You mug, Adam. I love it. I keep it coming in, everybody. Yeah, coffee's gone cold now, so I've totally lost the whole... I can't even think. Anyway, moving on. Keep it going. Yeah, but the goalkeeping side of things, honestly, that was one of the biggest points for me in the summer about Manchester United making that. And, I mean, look at it now. Realistically, when you look at the signings that Manchester United made in the summer and the ones that we made in the previous transfer window, I would say there's probably, Agate and Xerxes, out of all of them, haven't really hit the mark for Manchester United. Everyone else, I think, has been very, very effective from the recruitment from under Ineos's management team and recruitment team. And I think are definitely pushing constantly for starts in the sides. And it's going to be a very, very interesting summer transfer window in what happens with players leaving. I think this is a big one. And I think, we've said it before, as good as recruitment has been coming in, I think it's just going to be as important watching what goes out this summer as well. Are they going to cut their own players? Now, obviously, David Ornstein was actually out talking earlier on today regarding Joshua Zirkzee and Kobbie Mainoo. West Ham, Everton, there's a few teams that are looking for forwards, and Zirkzee is on the list. This has come from Ornstein, but he's actually said himself, and he's backed up what we've been talking about recently, and that Manchester United is shutting this down. He's actually said, David Ornstein, that it's not even clear at the moment if Manchester United are going to release these players if somebody comes in for them. Are they for sale? He doesn't even know. And tell you what, doesn't it feel different when you actually aren't hearing so much about Manchester United and it is all hush-hush and everything is being kept in-house now? Funnily enough, certain players left the football club and the leaks have started to dry up a little bit. They have. They've been plugged, you could say. And now we're looking at a different Manchester United environment altogether. I'm not hearing hardly anything from them. Honestly, going back into Ten Hag, the turnover, Ineos, just before they came in and things like this, I could name you at least 8 journalists that were constantly all over social media, stories coming out everywhere. Has anyone else noticed that the Manchester United correspondents, the Northwest correspondents, certain tabloids and newspapers and other websites and broadcasters is the one, sorry, I've gone a little bit quiet. There's nothing being said. We're looking at news coming out from people, different types of journalists now that I think are probably a little bit closer to certain people at Manchester United. Got their ears close to the ground. I mean, we all know who to trust with transfers and what's happening. By the way, I have got a transfer update on Kevin Filling. He's the Swedish striker from AIK. The report earlier on from Florian Plettenberg came out. It was sort of put down by Christopher Michael, another journalist over from the German side of things, saying that Manchester United had talked to Kevin Filling, but that he's not on their agenda. Florian Plettenberg said United are ready to make a 2.5 million bid. So when this live stream is finished, you go watch that video back. That came out at midday today. So that was your update on that scenario and what's going on there. So all the information is there on that, including both sides of the argument in terms of if it is or isn't happening. So check that out as well later on, everybody. But yeah, there is a lot of movement behind the scenes for Manchester United at the moment in transfer news for a lot of younger players. And again, I said it before, you can talk about your Conor Gallagher's and potential loan signings for June. The Elliot Anderson, like we said this morning, Carlos Balebas from yesterday. Look, this is where we're at now. We're not going to be getting any of these players in January. I think clubs have made it very, very clear. The only players that you might see move, and this would be a desperate move as well, and this would be on Crystal Palace's part, when you look at the likes of Gehi and Mateta, they can talk to anybody outside of England this January, and they are going to lose some serious players this summer, because let's not forget in everything as well that there is that gentleman's agreement with Adam Wharton. He is also leaving this summer. They're about to lose their 3 best players. And God knows where Oliver Glasner goals from there. It's going to be a scary thought. It really is. Super chat in from Gregory says, Adam, you have a terrific moderators in my opinion. Thank you, Gregory. Love that comment. I'm sure all the mods will be thanking you as well in the chat there as well. When was the last time we heard a team leak for a matchday squad? I can't remember, Stu, mate. Honestly, I can't. Loans are the best way to go in January. Plug a few areas, then summer window till end of the season. Yeah, that's it. I think that's where it's going to be, personally. Lamens is a mentality monster to what he is doing. Had so many keepers in the past, couldn't live up to wearing the shirt and badge at the club and crumbled under the pressure. Yep, Nick, totally agree with that as well, matey. Good evening, guys. Evening to you as well, Chris. Another member in the house. Hope you're doing well. Anyone who is just joining us, hello, welcome to the show, everyone. Please get your comments in. Make sure you do get in with your likes as well, everyone. Thank you. Let's see if we can get that up there near 300 likes for the live show before we finish up, everyone. Just bringing you completely up to date with everything going on. Just going to run through some other news now for you all, so you're completely up to date with absolutely everything. Brian Mbumo, by the way, give me your thoughts on this. Has been, well, according to the Telegraph, is the best signing of the summer all around. So they're putting into this the impact, obviously the form, integration, pricing, age of playoff, longevity, things like that to come. And they put it all into one. And the best transfer of the summer, according to the Telegraph, was a certain Brian Mbumo. So, yeah, all of a sudden we've got managers fighting for Manager of the Month. We've got best transfers for the transfer window. I mean, when you look at Brian Mbumo, I mean, seriously, this guy is on a different level. And I'm not surprised our poll right now in how this vote is going. And by the way, if you are just joining us, we've got a poll running in the chat, which is regarding the Player of the Month. Manchester United have announced their Player of the Month candidates for October are Senna Lamens, Matthias Cunha, Matthijs de Ligt and Brian Mbumo. We have put a poll up asking you all in the chat right now who you think should be Manchester United's Player of the Month for October. And it is a complete landslide right now. 64% think Brian Mbumo. I have to agree. Completely agree with that one. He has been beyond immense for Manchester United these last few games. I tell you what, this guy knows where the back of the net is as well. Oh my days. He is absolutely on fire right now. And again, this is a man, and I've seen Sully doing this as well. People have been trying to shoot this down because he is the best transfer of the summer transfer window, and people have been fighting back on it. And I think Sully's made a point here actually as well by just retweeting former posts from all different football clubs and stating quite funnily about all of the clubs targeting and being close to, or supposedly close to, signing Brian Mbumo in the summer. Everybody wanted him, and Man United got him. That was the best bit. We're closing in on 1,000 votes on that poll as well. So thank you everybody again for all of your votes. Keep them coming in. Forest, confidence should be low. We need to go there and get 3 points. No excuses. The new manager bounce has kind of gone. We'll get more into Nottingham Forest near the back end of this week, obviously midway through the week tomorrow, and we are on countdown. It's Carabao Cup action over the next couple of nights anyway, and I'm not going to be covering too much of that. I don't really want to get into the Carabao Cup because United are not in it, so we're not going to be doing much on Forever United TV on that. Of course, we are starting Rival Watch as well soon, so we're going to be handpicking certain matches to cover that really impact Manchester United going forward, so it'd be great to get you all involved in that. Other news as well, I talked about Brian Mbumo there. That was from the Telegraph, signing of the summer. Definitely agreeing with that one. Another bit of news as well. I've talked about this the other night, but it is starting to bubble up a little bit more now. And that's around Mason Greenwood's future at Marseille. Tottenham have joined the race for Mason Greenwood after discovering his form at Marseille. The English forward, after rediscovering his form in Marseille, the English forward is attracting interest from Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, West Ham and Aston Villa. West Ham? Villa? Sorry, that's not going to happen. Spurs? Yeah, forget it. He's not going to any of them English clubs. When you've got Barcelona and Atletico Madrid knocking on your door, And then you look at the English clubs that are also there. I'm sorry, you're not going Spurs, Aston Villa or West Ham. So, yeah, I don't want him to go there either because I don't think they're going to pay as high a price, although he could argue that for Barcelona. But Marseille want to keep him, but are open to talks if a strong offer arrives. Now, Romano has said already that teams were willing to pay big, but Marseille didn't want to sell him after 1 year. We could be looking upwards of 80 million here for Mason Greenwood if he continues his form. That's the talk around the town at the moment. I did a video the other night on how this benefits Manchester United and the PSR loophole we've got there, because we have got a 50% profit sell-on. So anything made on top of the initial 27 million in a future transfer, 50% of that goes to Manchester United. So, for instance, if I said it before, if Marseille sold him for 77 million, they made 50 million profit on the 27 that they bought him from Manchester United for. United would get half of that, so 25 million. So you can see if it goes up and up and up, Manchester United is set to make between 25 and 30 million quid more off Mason Greenwood at the moment, the way things are going. But clubs are circulating and circling is the right word there, sorry. Circling Marseille at the moment. They're going to find it extremely difficult to keep hold of Mason Greenwood, and it is looking good. The more talk that comes for him, the better it is for Manchester United. There's no chance of him ever coming back to United. That was put to bed the other night anyway, and I don't think it would have been the right move also for Mason Greenwood to come back. But United looking to cash in, and eventually here could be getting near 50 million in total transfer fee for Mason Greenwood. So again, Manchester United's academy, like we said at the top of the show, really starting to pay off. And this is where you look at the academies and the future of these academies and what they bring to the football club. When you look further down the line, it's a big business as well. And don't forget, Sir Jim Radcliffe has also been big on this and has had his say on the academy needing to do more for Manchester United. Not just in feeding the first team like we discussed this at the start of the show, but also in the fact that it needs to finance the club as well. And this is why Manchester United might be going for the players like Orozco from Colombia for 17. The 16-year-old we discussed earlier on today in Kevin Filling from AIK from Sweden. Another striker there. Manchester United doing overtime for the academy in bringing the best talent from around the world into Manchester and then prospering from them one way or another. And the structure again, taking a hold of this football club and operating the way it should have been a long time ago. Let's get some more comments in before we wrap things up on the show, everyone. We've got a bit more time to go. With Mbeumo and Cunha in the team, I think Bruno is enjoying not having to do all the creative work himself. Bruno's got someone on his wavelength as well in Bryan Mbeumo and Cunha. I mean, Bryan Mbeumo, to realise what Bruno Fernandes was going to do for that fourth goal, you will have to watch that replay back to see Bryan Mbeumo. It's like he's seen Bruno looking, and then he understood the ball was hit by Aiden Heaven. He was the side foot passed through to Bruno. Bruno already looked where Mbeumo was, and Mbeumo checks the look of Bruno Fernandes, understands what he was going to do, and Brighton flat-footed, bang, game over. In it goes, top bins. And that is the understanding. It's a good comment there, because Bruno will thrive with better players around him. He does that for Portugal. And it's down to Ruben now to handpick the right players to come into Manchester United and dislodge the ones that we all know aren't probably good enough to sustain top four in the Premier League, which is obviously the next step after getting back into Europe this season. Any form of Europe this season, Champions League next season, and then start to look from there. How quickly we move from that spot and being back in the Champions League is all going to be down to Manchester United's recruitment, 100%. And that's where we're at with it. But hey, look, this is where we're at right now. It's all positive. It can change in a heartbeat, don't forget, as well. So all eyes leading up to the weekend as well. We've got over the niceties now of the first 2 days of the week after a good weekend. And then we start to push towards the back end now from tomorrow, looking ahead to what is going to be a extremely difficult game. Again, massively important for Manchester United, though, also. And that is what I think is more important. Please pop a like on the video before we finish up. I am going to wrap things up there, everybody. I've got training tonight to do with the ladies, so I'm going to be heading out now. Thank you, everybody, for being part of the show tonight. Mods, fantastic job yet again. Absolutely love that. The community is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Please make sure that you hit that subscribe button on your way out if you are if you're looking to be part of it and grow with us here on Forever United TV, everybody. Give it a like as well. And I'll see you all in the morning, bright and early, 8 o'clock, with all of your updates from over the night and early doors. Have a good one, everybody. See you then.